high school, the good old days. But were they though? Well, it depends on who you were. Because back in high school, we all had an identity. As for me personally, the 6 years that I spent in high school were the best and most significant part of my life because I grew up. I grew up more at high school more than I did at home. Mainly because I went to a boarding school, you feel. So on my part, for those who don't know, I'm an African boy. I was born and raised in Africa, then only came to the UK for education. So I was born in Africa, specifically Zimbabwe. And then I went to Kutama College, which was an all-boys school. So, welcome back to another video. And for those who don't know me, the name is Happy Fit, and today we're going to be talking about... So anyways, hi guys, I hope you're okay wherever you are. As for me, I am a-okay. Right now it's summer, the sun is beaming, the sun is out, everything is cool. So I'm chilling, I'm feeling good right now. Because you know, like in the UK, whenever there's the sun, that's where all the energy comes out, you feel. Because whenever it's winter, we are down. But then as for now, we're good. So as for me, the answer to the question that I asked myself is I am a-okay. So today we are going to be talking about high school. So a few weeks back, I was talking to a friend of mine and we were sort of talking about where we are going to be spending our respective kids for high school, you get. So on my part, I was like, you know what, mine, I'm going to send them back to Zimbabwe. There's no two ways about that. They're going to be going to boarding school. But that's the best place they can go for discipline, to grow up, to be independent, and to be the best version of themselves. Then this girl now, she was like, nah, ain't no way. Africa, it's not going to work. Me, I'm going to raise mine in the UK, blah, blah, blah. Then I was like, you know what, each to their own. So this then raised the discussion about which one is actually better, single-sex school or mixed school. On my part, I went to a single-sex school, specifically Kutama College, for my whole of 6 years of high school, and I'm going to be unbiased and say single-sex schools are the best. There's no two ways about it. They are the best because that's where you grow up. That is where you grow up. They teach you how to be a man. Well, on my part, all boys school, right? They teach you how to be a man. They teach you how to be independent. They teach you how to network, because without that, you will not survive. So basically today, we're just going to be doing a rundown on like how to survive at a boarding school, because it's a jungle. So a boarding school in Africa, bruh, this is not Harry Potter. This will be real life, you feel? So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So on my part, I went to primary school in Alphabet in Zimbabwe. I was there for like 6 years. Everything was Gucci. I was the vice head boy, so I was feeling good about myself, you feel? Because when you're the vice head boy, you're like, you sort of conquered the primary school of some sort. So I was feeling good about myself. Then yeah, the following year I then started Form 1 at Kutama College. Funny enough, when I went to this school, I thought it was mixed. When I went, like, so what we do in Africa, right? Like, when you just finished your grade 7 and you're about to go to Form 1, I think you guys call it year 8 in the UK or something like that. So when you're about to go to Form 1, right, you sort of like write applications, like sort of application test at different schools where you want to go. So on my part, I went to Mazoe, then I went to St. Francis Xavier's Kutama College, then I went to St. Ignatius, where I failed with only 1 mark. That was painful. Then I also went to Tunod High School. So yeah, Kutama College, that's like sort of the main boarding school that I wanted to go to, you feel. Because when I got there, the infrastructure, it was cool, I liked it, and the whole line was full of boys, but it never clocked in my head that this was a boys' school. It never clocked in my head. So yeah, cool, I wrote my test, I passed, everything was cool. It was only on the first day of being a Form 1, then I'm like, what the girls at? There were no women available. I was like, damn, this is a boys' school. Sheesh. So okay, so for those who don't know, right? So like a calendar year in Africa, when it comes to school, you spend like 3 straight months at school. On my part, I went to a boarding school, right? So 3 straight months at school from January up until March, you feel. Then you get a holiday in April. Then May up until July, school again, straight. Then get a holiday in August. Then September up until December, or late November rather. Then that's school. Then you get a holiday in December. So this meant, as for me, I was not going to be seeing girls in 3 months. That comes to the point of whereby you are only living with only boys and you had to learn to toughen up. So yeah, we're just going to be talking about the benefits of going to a boys' school or single-sex school and how you can survive through those benefits. So the first and most important thing that you learn at being a boys' school is to be independent. So remember when I said like you be at school for 3 months? 3 months straight, no contact with your family, you had no phones, you had no internet, you had no anything, you had to be independent. And also your parents only visited once a month. Imagine, once a month. So it means that's the only time to have like sort of a refill of the food that you had. On our part, we went like sort of with school trunks, which are like sort of several foods that we needed for the whole 3 months you get. So there will come a time towards the end of the month when you have no food. That was inevitable. There will come a time when you have no food, and that's when you have to scramble. But at the dining hall, right? Oh yeah, this is the thing as well. So basically we had 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, and supper, blah 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 and whatnot. And at the table there will be 12 people. One person will be dishing for everyone, the other 11 people. So in that case, it means you also have to know people. So in terms of being independent now, you have to learn how to survive with minimal food. But towards the end of the month, towards the end of the term, I mean, when you have like sort of little food, you have like sort of just a sip of juice left, only 1 packet of crisps left, how are you going to survive? This is when it was time to man up. But in terms of being independent, you'd find a way to survive. No one was there to baby feed you. Your parents weren't there. You had to learn how to fend for yourself. But in all honesty, the best currency that you can have at a boarding school is mainly food, of which on my part I was privileged to become a dining hall captain in the future. We're going to get to that later on. So anyways, with being independent as well, the important thing that you have to do is to make a name for yourself. So on our part, in our stream, right, like let's say like when I was in Form 1, there were like 400 people, if I'm not mistaken, and you had to stand out. And the best way to stand out was to become a prefect. On my part, I became a prefect in Form 3, and I can't lie, that was the best day of my life. Not because I was extremely happy, but mainly because that's the day that changed the whole trajectory of my life. But in Form 1 and Form 2, I was a wimp. You get, I didn't like really know like how to survive. I was just like walking with my head down. I didn't like really know like how to be a man. But when I became a prefect, that's when you realize, okay, there's more to this, you get. So by making a name for yourself, you get to know different people, you get, and you also, you know, like networking, that's like the best thing that you can do in high school as well. You have to make a name for yourself at a boarding school because everyone wants to be someone. But once you become someone, all the benefits that will come to you. But initially when you go to a boarding school, you think like everything is the same. Everyone receives like sort of the same treatment and whatnot. They do not. Once you get to the top, you realize, damn, there's more to this school than we ever thought. The amount of food that you'll be getting, the quality of food that you'll be getting, the connection that you'll be making, the number of people that you'll be meeting as well. You have to be independent. The boys' school, it teaches you how to be independent and work your way to the top. That's one thing for sure. At a mixed school, I don't think that exists. You can correct me if I'm wrong, because me, I never went to a mixed school. But then from what I saw, if you're nobody, that's okay. Like, you sleep at night. At a boys' school, you can't, because people will always overlook you. You have to make a name for yourself for you to be someone and then to be able to get those benefits. But if you really think about it, that's how the real world is. That's why I think like when it comes to boys' school, they prepare you for the real world. If you're being honest, because here in the real world, you have to make a name for yourself. If you're nobody, you will die as a nobody, and it will be very unfortunate. But if you make a name for yourself, you'll be able to get like those benefits that life can give you. You feel so? Yeah. In essence, boys' school, single sex school, they teach you how to be independent, because that's the only way to survive. Otherwise, you starve to death. Oh yeah, and remember like when I was saying like food is like sort of the best commodity or like the best currency, right? Because obviously towards the end of the term now, like when you're starving and whatnot and you have like less food, you can actually make transactions with the food that you have. So let's say you have like one packet of crisps, you can find someone who you can actually trade with to then get juice or something like that. So you get, being at a boarding school as well, those are the benefits, because you get to learn like the skill of transactions, negotiations. Then the second benefit as well, networking. So basically, like I said before, being a prefect was like sort of the peak of the mountain when it comes to like a boarding school or a boys' school. And then networking on our part, we mainly called it kumvuka. So in that case, right, kumvuka is just slang for like sort of trying to gather like attention from like sort of the higher up. But at the end of the day, being a good boy, it does not get you far when it comes to being a boys' school. You have to know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who is related to someone who knows someone who can give you what you want. In the case of being a prefect, the person who can give you that are the teachers, you get. But the teachers, they'll go into a meeting and then vote the people they think they should be prefects, you get. On my part, I don't know how I became a prefect. I will not lie, because I wasn't really much into networking. But during my Form 1 and Form 2 phase, I was kind of shy. I was like basically a bookworm. I only lived for the education, you feel, because I feel like that's what made me someone. I wasn't good at sports. I used to play soccer, but then as time went on, I got fat, and with getting fat now, I could not keep up, you get. But I was playing number 2 as well, of which number 2 is the one which marks number 7. So imagine I'm a fat Dani Alves marking Cristiano Ronaldo. No, so I stopped like playing football. Then I think I started playing badminton or something, like just to be someone. So I then became a bookworm as well. So when I became a prefect, everyone was shocked, including me. I was like, how? It was something else. But then now that I look back at it, is because I was talking to the teachers often. When you talk to the teachers, they get to know you, and then they get to know what's called like who you are and what you're about, you feel. That's what low-key helped me towards going to become a prefect. When it comes to boarding school now, you have to have networking skills, but it's all about who you know. And then here's the thing as well, when it comes to boarding school, right, you are 3 months in one place, but then that's not the end of it. If you are lucky enough, if you have enough connections, you can go to as many trips as you can. But keep in mind, there were sports, there were clubs, there were a lot of things that can get you out of the place for a day. So if you know enough people, they can put you on the list to go to a certain school, let's say like St. Dominics. But when it comes to boarding school, right, ours was a boys' school, then St. Dominics was a girls' school, there was also Regina, Mundi, there was Monte. These 3 girls' school, we died for them. These were like the girls that were like, okay, yeah, if you're dating a girl from one of these 3 schools, you were in. So that networking skill can actually help you to be able to get to see your girlfriend during the term, you get. So yeah, when it comes to a boarding school, networking skills, you learn them. You have to learn them. It is what it is. That's the only way to go forward. And then with networking skills as well, they also went to the extent of the dining hall. Alright, so I'd like to thank our sponsors at What's Rudo Reading for sponsoring this video, as they provided us with the microphone which I was using in this video. I could have been using that microphone right now, but well, it's charging, so that's that. But on my part, I've always wanted to do like this kind of one-on-one videos with your microphone. It is more than convenient for those kind of videos. And for that, to What's Rudo Reading, thank you very much. And for those who don't know What's Rudo Reading, she's a book reviewer who mainly reviews African literature, and she's also an author. But this is her book called 3:15 AM and Other Stories. So if you're a big fan of African literature, or even like just books in general, this is a book for you, you feel, because it will give you an insight of African history and also Zimbabwean history. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, if you want this book, you can just get it on Amazon using the link in my description. And yeah, get yourself a book, get yourself a copy. You will not regret it. So yeah, with that in mind, thank you very much for Rudo Reading for sponsoring this video, and let us go back to the video. But remember, like when I mentioned, there'll be 12 people like at a table, right? You'll be the 12th person. There'll be 11 other people at the table, and then there'll be one person who's dishing. If that person hates you, you are done. You are done. Both, you know what's called? People take turns when it comes to dish, right? So let's say like one will dish today, then another one will dish tomorrow, blah blah blah. But obviously corruption would then come to play. So usually they'll end up like only being 3 people who dish for the whole table, and those 3 people, they will know each other, you feel. So if the person who's dishing hates you and it's a Sunday, but only Sunday, that's when we get like rice and chicken. All the other days with sadza and beans, sadza and beef, sadza and something else. But then when it came to Sunday now, that's the only day where it's rice and chicken. And if that person hates you, you will get a chicken's ass. Literally, there's actually a part of a chicken called a chicken's ass. On our part, we call it like molasso. Oh my god. But bruh, imagine spending the whole week looking forward to that meal, only for you to be given a chicken's ass. So now with those networking skills now that you learn along the way, you learn to know who to befriend. Because once you know who to befriend, or like who dishes the most, you'll be able like to get like the thigh, you'll be able to get like the drumstick almost every time, which will be like sort of the good thing, you feel. Because you then go to study like feeling good about yourself after eating a well delicious meal. So networking, boys school, boarding schools, they teach you how to network, because without that you can't go anywhere. So obviously I'm aware that some of the things that I'm mentioning, obviously when it comes to mixed schools, they have it as well, but I believe they don't have it as much as boarding schools. Both boarding schools and boys schools, that's a jungle. I repeat, that is a jungle. It takes a lot to survive in there. Another benefit of a boys school as well, specifically a boys school, and I think even like girls school, is bullying. Yeah, I know it sounds mad, but yes, bullying is a benefit of going to a boys school. But one thing is for sure, single-sex schools, they have a lot of bullying, and frankly, I think it's a good thing. You know, I remember like watching this other special by Chris Rock, I think it was Tambourine, when he was saying he sent these kids right to private schools, I think in France or something, and then like sort of the headmaster or something, they were boasting about their school like being anti-bullying, blah 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 and so forth. There are no bullies. Then Chris Rock was like, that's not impressive, because a school needs bullies. Do you know why? Because in the real world there are bullies. They are freaking bullies, the taxpayer, your employer, and sometimes even your friends, you feel. So I feel like with being bullied at high school now, it prepares you for the real world. Because on my part, I was bullied, but on my part, like fortunately for myself, I like sort of realized how to repel bullying a bit quicker than most people. Because on my part, like when people made fun of me, right, I then sort of just laughed at their jokes as well. I'll make fun of myself before they even made fun of me. But on my part, I'm fully aware I have a big ass nose, you feel. On my part, my nose is so big that I breathe in O4 instead of O2. Because O2, that's little stuff, I need O4 in order to really survive. That's how much my nose can accommodate, you feel. So it's like one of those things whereby I diss myself before other people, thereby I'm secure within myself, but I'm already aware of my flaws, you feel. I also have a receding hairline, so I'm aware of those things. So with bullying now, it didn't like really get to me that much, you feel. But for other people now, I get like bullying can be detrimental to people's mental health. That's one thing for sure. And I'm not like what's called pushing that under the rug or something like that. That actually does exist. But I feel like in the long run, bullying is actually good because it like really prepares you for the real world. I can't lie. Because you get to realize things don't always go your way. There'll always be hindrances. There'll always be big boys who are trying to push you down to get so that you don't get to their level. That actually exists. And with that happening at high school now, it prepares you for the real world. Because on my part right now, I've just finished my 3rd year and I'm going to the real world. I'm scared a little bit, I can't lie, but then not as much, but I've experienced something similar already in boarding school. You get 6 years of my life I was experiencing bullying. It wasn't bad, obviously it would come like here and there, blah 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 and whatnot, but I survived it, you feel. I know what it can look like, you feel what I'm saying. So yeah, one other benefit of going to a single sex school is that you get to learn how to grab your opportunities whilst you still can. Because remember when I said like you would spend like 3 months at the school you get, of which you would only see girls at least like once a month, and if you are very unlucky, you'd only see them literally once a month through an event hosted at the school. Because in the case that you don't do any sports, you don't do any society, you literally don't do anything rather than sleep, go to eat, and go to study. You only see girls once a month when an event called Winterfest was hosted. This was like sort of the biggest of 4 events at the school, you get. But this is an event like whereby several societies and other schools would come from St. Dominics, Regina, Mundi, Monte Casino, Dominican Convent. That's why like most of the girls that would come. Like the school would be filled with so much girls at the same time, be like, damn, are we now at a mixed school? You get. So in the instance, right, that these girls come and you've paid a ticket to go into the event, but the ticket would usually be like 5 US and whatnot, and 5 US in Zimbabwe, it's a lot of money. In Zimbabwe, it's a lot of money. Now imagine at a boarding school now where you are restricted when it comes to the amount of money that you receive. Film. Then you pay $5 US to go into this event. Then you look good. Then you get your haircut. Everything is cool. Then you go there and you spend a day, a full-on day without talking to any girl. It was gonna be a long night for you, but I can't lie, people would see it. If you spend the whole day talking to yourself or talking to another guy, people would see it and they'll clown you for the rest of the night. But what we do, right, the person would be called a gorofa. But gorofa is like sort of that person like who doesn't know how to talk to girls. And I can't lie, it's low-key unfair, because imagine you'll be staying with the boys over and over and over again. Obviously your ability to be able to talk to girls would go down a little bit, but then that goes back to the bullying. We do not care. People did not care. If you don't talk to a girl the whole day, you are labeled as a gorofa and people will clown you. It will reduce your self-esteem such that the next time you will make a plan to talk to those girls. You feel? So when I talk about grabbing opportunities, what you still can. If you see a girl walking about and you like her, make a plan. But nowadays, I live by the mantra, it's better to shoot your shot and get rejected than to go to sleep knowing that you're a little you get. That's like the mindset that I was given by boarding school. You get, you learn how to grab your opportunities, which is also beneficial in the real world. But I can't lie, in the real world, opportunities, they come and go way too quick. If you don't grab onto them, you've been surpassed by the wave. You have to go onto the wave and then ride the wave, then leave whenever you feel like you're ready, or like whenever it dies down, you feel. So when it comes to high school as well, that clowning, that sort of like bullying of being told that you're a gorofa, it will teach you. It will teach you to grab those opportunities. But the next time that you see a girl that you like and you're like, flip, should I go, should I not? You go irregardless. You even go without a plan. You even go and say hi, then just run away. But as long as you say something, it is something. Because you to make sure, once you get a girl that you're talking to, go outside with her. Show people that not I got the skills, I can talk to these women, you feel. So yeah, when it comes to boys school as well, they teach you how to grab those opportunities. But come rain, come thunder, if you don't talk to any girl, people will clown you. But on my part, I can't lie, Form 1, Form 2, that was me. I was a gorofa. I didn't know how to talk to girls because I just didn't. You get, but keep in mind, on my part, like coming to high school was sort of like a downfall. Because imagine, I was the vice head boy at my primary school, only for me to be to go down to being a peasant. So you know, like sort of that 4 form grace, it didn't sit well with me. So Form 1 and Form 2, the first years of high school, I was sort of down. It was only when I became a prefect now, like when I sort of like, you know what, I'm someone. So obviously, some things are expected of me. So the events, I would buy a ticket, then I would make a plan, sort of to talk to girls, blah blah blah. And then the good thing about talking to girls, right, at an event like that, those girls then introduce you to other girls. We introduce you to other girls, thereby you basically like have a friendship group of girls that you have now, you get. And also here's the funny thing, the girls who would come to those events were the same. They were the same, you get. So you know, like every time that they come, you are so that you already have girls that you'll be talking to and whatnot. People will be perceiving you as a baller, you feel. So in essence, yes, boys school, they really teach you how to take action. Both on my part, I learned the right way. When I was clowned for being a gorofa, that was not the best time in my life, you get. But now, like, it just is what it is. You feel like I at least like sort of have the balls to grab opportunities whilst I still can when I see them, you feel. And then also, last but not least, one of the other benefits of going to a boys school specifically, it teaches brotherhood. But I can't lie, the people that I went to high school with, I don't talk to all of them anymore, but then there's still that connection of brotherhood. But we went to an extent of whereby we like sort of these other wristbands called, which is like sort of Koba written on it. Both Koba meant Kutama Old Boys Association. Like, we are a group of people, like if we see each other in public, like we're like, you went to Kutama, like it's a sort of identity, you feel. But even when I went to Zimbabwe up in Birmingham, there was a guy like who just like started shoving me like out of nowhere. So all my parents like confused, like wait, what's happening and whatnot. Then this guy like used sort of a Kutama college slang that I could understand. So it was like, oh Flip, you went to Kutama. You feel like it's that type of connection whereby even though we're like hundreds of miles away from Zimbabwe, there's still that connection between people who went to Kutama college, you get. So that's the beauty of going to a boys school, like that brotherhood which is created. Because on my part, right now I'm 22, I left high school when I was 19. 2018. But then I still have this short Kutama College. I don't know if you can see it properly. But anyways, Kutama College short that I wore for my house because I was in Chichester House, which was the best house by the way. So like I still have this short as a reminder of where I came from. Because on my part, I can't lie. The one thing that I'm sure of, I may not be sure if Chelsea is the best team in the world, or even the best team in Europe. But the one thing that I'm sure of is that Kutama College, it really made me. The man that I am today is because of Kutama College. Because it taught me how to survive. Because I can't lie, after being like at a boys' school for 6 years, then you go to a university where there's like a lot of girls, and where's a university in a different country, it's scary. The culture difference really got to me. But then like that experience of being at a boys' school, it was also useful in some sense as well, you feel. So in essence, the conclusion is single-sex schools are better than mixed schools, in my opinion at least, because I've seen like the benefits. I've lived through the benefits of being at a single-sex school. If you've been to a mixed school and you know like some benefits that I don't know of, please drop them down in the comment section, then we can talk about it. But in essence, single-sex schools, they are better. We are miles better than mixed schools, you feel. So in the future, if you want to send your child to a school whereby he or she will grow to become the man or woman who she's supposed to be, who can actually rule the world, single-sex school, that's the best way to go. Either boys' school or girls' school, whatever rocks your boat. Hopefully, those are the only type of single-sex schools that will be available, if you know what I mean. So anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please drop a like, subscribe as well. There's going to be more videos of this sort. And also, please drop down like any sort of topics that you may want me to discuss as well. Because I'm thinking about talking about the difference between dating in Africa and in the UK. Because I can't lie, it is hella different. I've experienced both and they are different in many ways that I can't even mention. But anyways, that might be another video in the future. So anyways, guys, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Till next time.